I'm trying to have a meeting here. I'm trying to have a fucking... Show me the fucking money. Show me the crack money right now, Punky Brewster. Wait a minute, you're not Punky Brewster. Wait a minute. You grew quite a beard since the last time I saw you on TV.
When was I on TV?
Wait, you're not Punky Brewster, that little fucking that little kids TV show from the fucking 80s?
No, I think you got the wrong number.
Son of a bitch, I thought I was going on a Zoom call with Punky Brewster and the Banana Splits.
I thought I was talking to Kevin James from King of Queens, so we can imagine both of our surprise right now.
Holy shit, I'm completely confused. I was actually expecting a large pair of breasts on an adult Punky Brewster, but no, you'll do. I like the beard.
Oh, thanks. I think you're mistaking me with Soleil Moonfry.
Is that who that is? I actually don't know her name. I just know that she was locked in a refrigerator one time on one episode. And I gotta be honest, I was rooting for the refrigerator the whole time.
You know, I remember that as a kid, and I actually grew a horrible aversion to food for several months. It was actually a real thing that scared me. I was mortified of refrigerators for a very long time.
I'm glad to see you regained your appetite, Porky Pig.
Yeah, I certainly have. It's definitely a chunky bruiser over here, but that's okay. I wear it well.
That's a little better than Punky Brewster. You know, I was kind of worried there, especially after the Banana Splits had that friggin', what was that Fat Five Nights at friggin' Fingered at Freddy's style movie or something there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that shelf of the adult section. I know it gets pretty deep, but I don't think I'm familiar with that subgenre.
That feel privilege. The Banana Splits is a little bit out of your age bracket, I would imagine, but still they are a horrifying group of animals. Well,
I know of the group, the Banana Splits. I was thinking that this was some sort of perverse adult parody. You know, an adult film. They seem to have a running bit of that.
No, I'm not into furries. I'm sorry, you are mistaken. I'm not into furries.
You've been watching our show, and you know my secrets because I think I have a closeted infatuation with having a fursona.
I don't blame you there. I mean, I got to be honest. Some furries, I look at them and I'm like, that's literally a walking glory hole, and I need to cash in on that. But that's a whole other subject. I don't know if that's appropriate for whatever this show is.
Well, this is Punky's MixTape, and I thought my producer said I was interviewing the King of Queens, Kevin James, today. I get on the call, and then you're on there. Who the fuck are you?
I am definitely not the King of Queens. I may be the King of Coney Island at some point in time, or at least I thought I was. I am Humongous Fungus of Urungus, scumdog of the universe, and you're actually interrupting my toilet time.
Oh, were you going to have a toilet call with Punky Brewster? Was that what was the plan?
She gets real dirty, if you know what I mean. I'm just saying, she's into some kinky fetishes that I'm not at liberty to talk about unless you want to go on to her OnlyFans page. You know, I pay top dollar for that, but I'm just saying. I
don't got money for that, but if I could borrow your password, I wouldn't say no.
Hey, not a problem. Hit me up in my DMs.
I'll totally slide into your DMs. Now, Scumdogs of the Universe, I'm very familiar with them. I know Odorous personally, or rather I knew Odorous personally. I have actually know all of the Scumdogs. I've hung out with Slimenstra. I've hung out with Beefcake and the Jaws of Death and Pustulus. I know the whole crew and Jizmac, but who the fuck are you? I don't remember you as a scumdog.
I am the bastard son of Odorous. When Odorous and Gua were banished to Earth, Odorous left a little bit of himself behind when he put his foot up the master's ass. And I was actually the resulting, the byproduct of what was left in there. You know, I can't say much more than that. If you really want to know, you can watch my fucking podcast type TV freaking show that's on crack book, and I'm not up to date with this technology stuff. It's too confusing for me. All I know is every Sunday at 4:20 Eastern Dingo Dick Time, because I'm on the other side of Antarctica, on the Australian side. I recently got left there by Uber. Not too impressed with that, but regardless, every Sunday you can watch my show and hear my horribly stupid stories and tales from the past that might explain some of, my origins, because quite frankly, you don't have the time and I don't have the money to pay you in order to tell you that long of a tale. And I get a ring around the butt bad enough sitting here, I got shit to do, but I will entertain this interview a little while longer.
So you're calling from Antarctica?
Yes, my dear boy.
I never thought I'd get it. We've hit almost every continent in the world, but I never thought that I'd have a guest on the show from Antarctica. How's the weather down there?
It is actually beautiful here in Antarctica. The green snow, the algae has taken over the snow. See, I was attempting to grow a new kind of cannabis oil that was it was infused with Antarctican algae, and it didn't really fucking work. It was a complete failure. Gua was pissed. So they basically were like, get the fuck out of here, Humongous. You're stinking the place up. So I went to Coney Island a few weeks back, and then my Uber dropped me off on the Australian side of the goddamn continent, which I think Bone Snapper had something to do with that. I don't know if you're familiar with
I am very familiar with Bone Snapper, the cave troll.
Yeah, cave troll. Yeah, exactly. See, I know he's a cave troll. You know he's a cave troll. His whore mother claims that he's my son. I know for a fact that it is not true. We went on Jerry Springer, and Jerry Springer was like, nah. We already had Gua on here once, and they sacrificed me to the world maggot. I'm not allowing another scumdog on here. We tried to go on Maury Povich, and that Sean guy was back for the peaches, and he saw my fucking camel toe, and he was screaming peaches the whole time, so he ruined the whole episode. I'm still on the quest to prove that there's not a speck of green on me that could have impregnated that cave troll whore mother of his.
Well, if you're able to provide a DNA sample, we here at the Mixtape would be more than willing to pay the fees to get the parental test done.
Perfect. I would appreciate the fuck out of that, because I've actually got another woman on the side that I think has been cheating on me, and we just recently had an actual child together. This is not like this prehistoric pre-coitus bullshit with Bone Snapper's mother. That was some intergalactic three-way that happened, ironically, with a tortoise, a giant tortoise, a space tortoise. He claims he's not a turtle. That's right, he is a tortoise. But I digress. I would love to accept.
But when a troll fucks a tortoise, you get a Bone Snapper.
Exactly, and you know what? A tortoise comes more than any creature on the entire world, besides Lonnie the sperm whale. Lonnie is the only other competition, which I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. I don't know if your audience is up for this, but still, I'm saying right there. I'm just going to show it, not say it. Is it the right way?
Oh, you can say fuck on our show. I don't know about Lonnie though. That might get censored out.
Well, fuck you, Lonnie, because this is on a whole new platform and a whole new way. This is the triple threat. We're doing Instagram, Facebook, and now Twitch. Fuck you's the Lonnie. I'm loving it.
Now, what is Lonnie a sperm whale? You have a prior relationship?
Lonnie. I don't know where to start with Lonnie. Lonnie's part of my master plan, I must be honest. Lonnie is an old-time fan of Gua. My father, Fungus of Urungus, started the tradition of saying, fuck you to Lonnie. And Corey Klein, Sharpie Maximus, continued this tradition and dragged it forth. And now I have taken it upon myself to do this, because deep down, we love Lonnie because he's of use to us, because he is employed by SeaWorld. And we want to get Lonnie fired from SeaWorld. We want him fired so I can acquire him and ride him into space for one of my most devious plans I've ever hatched, that I'm not getting into here. I was actually on last week's episode of the Humongous Shit Show, and I know you tuned in, but I don't. Yeah. Your viewers will have to tune in to find out what that's all about.
I mean, I've never heard of you. I didn't tune in. What are you talking about?
Well, there was somebody that maybe it was one of your slaves. I thought somebody that had a beard like you was in my
Are you mistaking me with the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes, that's exactly who it is. You're the trash man.
Yeah.
You're the trash man.
I'm Danny DeVito. I look exactly like Danny DeVito. You figured it out.
I figured it out. You grew a little beard. You thought you could hide from me. You're wrong. I smelled you out, trash man.
You're actually the first person to realize that Bruiser is actually we're distant relatives of the DeVitos. You figured it out. But apparently I can't fool you, Humongous.
I can smell it in your blood.
Now, I was a pretty big fan of your dad, and believe it or not, he actually spared my life on more than one occasion. I have here, some of our viewers at home, this is what's called a Polaroid. This was a type of film that instantly developed. This photo right here is, I believe, about 16 years old. And there you can see your dad right there.
My beautiful father.
Beautiful father right there. There's myself. There's a young Punky Bruiser. And then you might remember this guy right here. Is he a godfather or an uncle or kind of a swinger friend?
Smelly uncle.
With a smelly uncle? I heard he's not as tall in real life.
Original penis. You know, I lost my cock and my balls in a tragic porta potty accident. I was frozen.
How did that happen?
I was frozen in Antarctica by that bastard son of mine back after the Jurassic Fight Club era, right before Gua invented music. You see, Beefcake the Mighty actually invented music by stringing the guts of the dinosaurs from the Jurassic Fight Club across the Grand Canyon and invented music, as you filthy humans now take credit for, which is absolute 100% bullshit. Beefcake fucking come up with it. Gua invented music. And they also invented, well, they didn't invent, they listen, Odorous got real horny and he fucked a monkey to create slaves because Gua had no slaves. And in the end, he ended up creating the cockroach of the galaxy, which is the human race. And when he was unthawed from Antarctica, him and his brethren swore to kill the human race. And in his passing, Gua has still continued this quest. And now I figured, hey, what the fuck? You know, I might as well ride the diabetic coattails and, you know, coat the human race with sugar and shit to sweeten up the pot before Gua finally takes over this planet and really turns you all into their slaves.
You know, kind of going back to that, and as I said, I've been so fortunate to survive and be allowed to live because of Odorous Urungus. But did you know that the DeVito family is actually of the lineage of Urungus? So maybe I got a little bit of Odorous blood in me, and that's why, or in me, or inside me, or who knows, whatever liquids. But I think he let me live for a reason.
Yes, so you could interview me.
It was destined.
It was divine destiny. He said to himself, one of these days, my bastard son is going to return. And this little motherfucker right here is going to interview him because he said Punky Brewster is going to grow a hell of a beard one day. I mean, Bruiser. And he knows. He knew. He smelled the DeVito in you. It was like a burrito. He smelled the DeVito.
The burrito, like, the DeVito burrito? That is my essence.
I think he put that burrito in your back door, didn't he?
Now I'm not the one to denounce it, but I may have cuddled the cuttlefish.
I don't blame you there.
I mean, it's kind of there, and when you're in the moment and you're in the throes, you have all this leather on, you've got the ball gag in, you know, it's really hard to say no to Odorous. He command a powerful army, and I was more than willing to bend a knee or two.
Yes, I don't blame you there. You got to do what you got to do. You know, sometimes you got to take one for the team and watch Batwoman while you're getting it from behind because, you know, that's what Pustulus wants. That's what Pustulus gets. I'm just saying.
For me, it's just, you know, just whatever clip of Hot Guy from the Avengers movies with his bow and arrow. That just does it for me every time.
I don't understand. Why did they put the one character that has like no superpowers? He must be hung like a fucking horse or something because he's on the Avengers, and it's like I don't understand Hawkeye.
He's got that big D energy, you know.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
He is deadly, not only in the bedroom, but he is deadly on the battlefield.
And that's really what you wanted in an overlord, you know. And I've been looking for overlords in all the wrong places ever since we had to say goodbye to your father.
Yes, I hear you there. I've searched high and low. I mean, that's why I came to Earth in the first place. Why I was banished for my crimes in the battlefield, in the arena, when I was chosen to go forth with the rest of the up and coming scumdogs in the battle arena. They're supposed to freaking rape the Slowtards or they will kill you. But instead, there was a Slowtard revolt. And this time, the Slowtards, they wanted to be the ones raped and do some raping. So it was like a mutual destruction. And the rest of those fucktards that were in the arena, they all got banished. But me being the bastard that I am, the master said to himself, herself, I don't know what, I don't identify. I don't assume the gender of the master, considering it gave birth to me out of the ass. Therefore, whether
you didn't get a glimpse on the way out.
Yes, it's an alien. All I know is that it was mom to me. Mom sacrificed me and banished me to deep space, knowing that I would die because I was just a fat bastard back then, you see. That's why I was called humongous, because I was bigger than Jabba the Slut, Jabba the Hutt's sister. I was very large, but I digress. I am a failure, and that's why I came to Earth seeking revenge. I wanted my father to teach me how to gain revenge against my mother, the master, and instead, my goddamn bastard son from the future locked me in a porta potty for 550 million fucking years. And when I come out, my dad's dead.
That's how you lost your dick?
Yeah, I got, like, the horn of hatred woke me up, all right? Because when Flatus passed away, Odorous sounded the horn of hatred, which let all the scumdogs of the universe know what had happened, and they all gathered upon Earth. And that is where actually Pustulus Maximus comes into this story, because as his spaceship was being backed into place, it actually crashed into the facade of the castle, thus dislodging my porta potty. Now, I was not freed from the porta potty at that point. I was awake, unfortunately. And someone was fucking with me, beaming 80s TV shows and sitcoms and 90s bullshit into my head constantly like a technological turd, just fucking wrapping around my brain like an anaconda. And when my father died, the scumdog scream from the future, when Mr. Perfect impaled him with his own sword, actually awoke my brain, and my anus released, my bowels released, and blew me forth from the porta potty, tearing my cock and my balls completely free from me. My mangina naturally grew back in place, which all Urunguses have. And unfortunately, now I'm stuck with this fucking thing. I'm not happy about that. Not happy at all.
So the humongous is kind of really just a play on words then. It's kind of just more self-inflating.
Yes, I actually ate myself to death in that porta potty over that course of time. The madness at the core of my mind slowly ate away at my mind as I lived off from the fat like a goddamn bear or something, about hibernating until the perfect time to be unleashed to do absolutely nothing besides pretty much come out and get diabetes because I can't stop fucking eating, trying to regain my girth. But hey, you know,
So I can understand where you had that obsession with my female predecessor of Punky and thus the mistake in the call. You were basically given like the Ludovico treatment of like the 1980s.
Exactly. And a little bit of the 70s. Because that's where the Banana Splits comes in and the Scooby-Doo.
And
which I'm not complaining.
Well, that was the 80s.
The Nanny. I had every episode of the fucking Nanny beamed into my head so bad, and that's not the problem. Fran Drescher's voice isn't that bad. It was the fact that I could not reach my junk to Jack that entire time as I was listening to Fran fucking Drescher. Oh, she's so sexy, that voice.
You know, I kind of noticed the similarity between your voice and hers. Do you think after, maybe you might have adopted it a little bit from just the prolonged exposure?
Oh, you never want to hear me have an orgasm. I sound exactly like Fran Drescher.
When she laughs?
When she laughs. 100%. I met the father from the Nanny last year when I was playing with Guello at Comic-Con down in Barksboro, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is what I actually call it. But I met the father and the oldest daughter from the Nanny. And this is an awesome story. And I genuinely hope that he hears me tell this, because I had about an hour-long conversation with the two of them and the creator of Muppet Babies, which was amazing. It was like this fucking menage a cat of fucking foolishness. But I asked him, I says, I wasn't working with Fran Drescher all those years, that fucking voice. You know what he says to me?
What'd he say?
It bought me a new house. That right there, my dear boy. That's why I love you filthy humans. You're completely fucking honest at times. And I enjoy that because that's the truth. I mean, I'm sure he wanted to bang her brains out with a sock in her mouth, but I mean, who wouldn't?
Now, I'm kind of curious. Now you talk about, what you love about us humans, yet you're here to destroy all of us, but you've seemed to kind of acclimate a lot of our culture.
Yes, unfortunately, as I've come out of, the shit shack, I've noticed that my father wanted to kill all humans, which I think that was his mistake. He needed to kill off certain humans. Some humans are actually very useful. They make art, they grow good drugs, they make cool artwork, some of them actually make music that's worth listening to. And I'm not, I'm not
like who? Which humans deserve to live as far as the music world's concerned, Humongous?
As far as the music world is concerned, well, I'm going to start off with who needs to fucking die. I'm just going to say, first and foremost, hey, Corey Taylor, that's a piss jug that's on your face right now. The whole band urinated in that jug while they were playing video games on the fucking tour bus. And then they said, hey, Corey, we got an awesome new mask for you. Tom Savini friggin' designed it. And Tom Savini was like, hey, yeah, I'll go along with this one just because Odorous would have got a fucking kick out of that shit. So, yeah, that's what I got to say to Corey fucking Taylor. And who allowed Nickelback to live for so long? Seriously, nobody can they can't fly a plane into a stage when Nickelback is playing or something. Make it a really small fucking plane. You don't need to take out any of the audience, just Nickelback. I'm just saying, I mean, not that I want anyone to actually do that. I'm just simply saying, how fun would that be to see that happen and be like the plane just swoops down and it's like, oh, that's the end of the show. And the end of the Leonard Skinner came back from the dead.
So obviously not a Stone Sour fan. But now, if everybody needs a nemesis, like you've got the human race. If I didn't have Nickelback to make fun of, like, I don't know what I would do. Most of my day, if you know me personally in my real life, is spent making fun of Nickelback, Now, albeit envisioning the idea of like a 747 just perfectly is fun. It kind of makes each day just a little bit more passionate to wake up every day, have a cup of coffee, and like, man, do I fucking hate Nickelback.
Exactly. if John F. Kennedy Jr. can fake his death to start QAnon, I think we can get somebody to fly a fucking helicopter with John Bon Jovi in it straight into a Nickelback fucking concert. Just saying.
Now, what bands do you think should live?
What bands should live? Obviously, Gua. Gua will live forever. I would have to say another band. I think Mushroom Head is a good band. I enjoy Mushroom Head. You know, not just because they're fun guy. Let me see. Definitely not Lordy. My dad had beef with Lordy, and I had beef with Lordy because they are the Milli Vanilli of fucking rock and fucking metal, bro. Of horror fucking. No. They're fucking lip syncing up there. Milli Vanilli should be alive, and Lordy should be dead. That's all I'm fucking saying.
Now, anybody else you think deserves to live in the music community?
Lamb of God, I really enjoy. I enjoy Lamb of God. I wish Rick James was still alive. Rick James died way too motherfucking soon. That's all I'm saying.
You just want his black book so you can get the hookup.
Yes, exactly. And Eddie Murphy's not giving that shit up anytime soon. And Charlie Murphy too. I mean, let me say, rest in peace, Charlie fucking Murphy. That guy died way too fucking soon, just like my fucking father. There's too many people that die too fucking soon because they make stupid choices that, you know, I mean, if you're gonna go out, you might as well go out with a bang, like fucking Wilford Brimley, you know, fighting fucking aliens and fighting diabetes and threatening me for fucking all 4 years that I was out of the shit shack. That was my nemesis. You mentioned nemesises. My true nemesis, besides my son, which I love, Bone Snapper, it's gotta be Wilford Brimley.
You know, I actually just saw an episode of The Outer Limits with him.
Nice.
You know, that's incredibly coincidental. I was watching The Outer Limits the other day, and actually Wilford Brimley, I was like, holy fuck, look at him.
I mean, me and Wilford is like Sebastian Bach and William Shatner. One of these days, I'm going to roll up on his house and beat the fuck out of the door and say, friggin', all right, Mr. Emoji Man, I'm here to kick your motherfucking ass. And then they're going to be like, hey, Wilford Brimley's been dead for like 5 years, dude. He doesn't live here anymore. But maybe I'll just like beat them down with a Snickers bar. And speaking of candy, are you going trick-or-treating this year, or are they canceling that shit in your redneck of the woods?
Actually, what I do is I play Dungeons and Dragons on Halloween.
Nice, so, good thinking.
Yes, I am the DM or the GM or also a DM. Much you know, that's the thing is after looking for overlords in all the wrong places, after being subservient for so long, I decided to switch roles. So I went from the sub to the DM, which is always an interesting change in character.
Always. It's like being the heel after, you know, like in wrestling. But I want to know, my Halloween plans, I had planned to go to fucking Salem, and I got a giant bucket because I saw some goth chicks on the internet recently, and I was like, I'm gonna need a bigger fucking bucket to take those treats home. The trick is getting them in the bucket. That's the thing. It's not like it's not like you're driving a random van or something that you can just be like, I got some candy in the van. It doesn't work that way unless it's painted like a pumpkin. That might work. If I cut a hole in the top of it, and then had somebody else like hold
Bring a cat. If I know anything about humans, goth girls love cats.
Oh, I could paint and look at this. Goth girls love cats, and there's a random cat in Antarctica.
Oh,
there's not many cats in Antarctica, but there's at least one. I can get some tail with that.
You know, so getting him to go with you in is one thing, but if they try to bring you back anywhere, they're just trying to sacrifice you. Beware any goth chick that invites you back to her house in the month of October. Just a fair warning.
I'm totally down with sacrificing myself to Miss Cherry Delight. Don't threaten me with a good time, Punky Brooder.
Well, it's That could be a whole other thing. But
Yeah,
now
that definitely could be. I've seen her live in action.
I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna list off some humans, and I want to get some general thoughts that you have on them, since you're so rooted in our pop culture. You've truly acclimated. So the first one I'm curious your thoughts on is Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Will this man ever age? He is like the fountain of youth. He's Ponce de Leon of the modern acting world. This man has literally found the fountain of youth, and I love it. And Point Break, from Point Break on, even that Speed movie. I'm not a big fan of Speed. Yeah, I like Space Crack.
Yeah, Speed's just kind of like, it doesn't really hit the right notes.
Exactly, but he did good. He was, I mean, considering what he is, but regardless, Keanu Reeves, I give Keanu Reeves a Matrix out of an out-of-control bus with a bomb on it.
So Keanu Reeves would be allowed to live.
Oh, hell yes. Keanu Reeves, 100%. If I need somebody on my team that actually knows how to use a gun, even though I like melee weapons myself personally, and I use my fists and nuclear hammers and things. Still, he is a man who could use any gun, and he knows how to use a computer, which I do not know how to do. So, he is perfect for me.
Now, what about comedian and horror director Jordan Peele? How do you feel about him?
Jordan Peele. I think someone needs to peel the orange. That is Jordan Peele. Some of his, I like his comedy. His comedy is absolutely hilarious. Some of his horror movies, I find them to be horrible in the sense that it's like the same trope every time. Like, all right, we get it,
You didn't like Us?
Some scary stuff, don't get me wrong. I just see what's coming.
So you didn't like Us. I liked Us. I loved Get Out. I thought that was great.
Yes, that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
So like is he? So you want him flayed, or do you want to let him live?
I would cut him in half, so that way we have the half of him that I find useful still here, and he can't go anywhere. He's trash. I'm like, all right, you're now a director that stays directly right fucking where I put you, Stubby.
So half death on that.
Half death. We cut him in half because he's half and half. He's half horror, half comedy. So that way we cut it, and not vertically. We go horizontally. We don't want to do that. That wouldn't work out too well.
No, so you want the funny parts.
Yes, exactly.
I get it. You just want to make your perfect man.
We're making him Lieutenant Dan 2.0.
Oh man. What about Betty White?
Betty White. Oh my God. Did you actually go there?
I'm going there, Humongous.
The sexiest women on the planet ever, hands down, Betty fucking White. I bow to you, Betty White. I bow to you. She is my father did an impersonation of Betty White one time, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because he simply put a dildo in his mouth and went with a dildo in his mouth, and it was absolutely hysterical. Because I've actually seen her do that with my severed cock.
Oh, so and we're always trying to follow in our father's footsteps, aren't we?
Yes, and I must say, all of the Golden Girls, if you have any of the rest of them on your list, all of the Golden Girls are spared, because I'm actually going to fashion them together into a Granny Stein that I will use for my sexual pleasures, and it will make me delicious cookies and all kinds of granny style.
So you're into gilfs then. All right, I'm gonna knock a couple names off my list real quick.
Yes, I actually use the elderly as slave labor. I don't use children like Nike and Apple and all those. No. The children are actually the managers in my sweatshops. The children rule the old, the elderly, And the elderly, we just use them until they literally turn to dust, and then we sell that dust to the Chinese black market. We tell them it's rhinoceros horns.
And they love, and that just goes over huge. Yes,
they love it.
That's just effective. That's an effective business practice. Hats off to you on that one.
I'm actually responsible for many, a few of the modern plagues, but I'm not going to go there. I don't want to take too much credit where it's due. I don't want any big orange leaders or anybody getting the ants in the pants because I, take credit for what.
Speaking, that's actually the next name on my list is the orange leader of America, Donald Trump. What are your thoughts on him, Humongous?
The big dump Trump. All right, look. This is how I feel about, your inglorious leader. All right. I was not a fan of The Apprentice. He stole the line, "You're fired," from Arnold Schwarzenegger from the movie True Lies. How appropriate is that? True Lies. That's all I have to say right there. You're fired. And that's what I say we do to him, is we literally just fire him into deep space. And we take the rest, all politicians, just for the record, not just the orange inglorious leader. I want all of the stinking politicians that, pass all these bullshit laws and all this stuff that stop me from having mobile methamphetamine laboratories that are also hooker bars, liquor bars, hookah bars, all in one. It'd be an 18-wheeler, a caravan about 42 miles long that would just pull into your town and just disassemble like a transformer. And no, they stopped me dead in my tracks. They said, no, you can't actually combine whores, meth, booze, guns, and...
Tell that to the American Southwest.
That's what I'm saying. They said you have to space it out. Make a mini mall. No, this is a mobile mini mall.
Too ambitious, Humongous. You're too ambitious. That's the problem. Is they try to, they're trying to Icarus you. They're just trying to make you, you got greatness right there, and they're just trying to melt your wings.
Thank you, sir. See, that's what I tried to tell them when I sold that giant. I had a 500-gallon vat of shit that I had been saving, and I actually flipped it in a business deal with China. And I sold it to the Wuhan market as bat stew. And unfortunately, yes, you know how the rest of that goes. But
yeah, I think we know the rest of that story.
I was gonna segue into the fact that I did something good for the people. I bought Pornhub because I had used all the money from the Wuhan hand job to basically finance investing in toilet paper and toiletries because I eat toilet paper. So I was pulling a fast one. I was pulling an old DJT, and I was fucking double dipping on it by freaking buying my own investment and flipping it. But you know what happened. It was the toilet paper shortage. So I kind of accidentally made $42 billion more than I was expecting to. So I bought Pornhub. Gave everybody 2 weeks of free porn.
So obviously I noticed. I didn't know you're responsible. So I thank you for that.
Finally, somebody acknowledges what I have done for the human race.
Well, I can see the eventual turnaround. You give a couple of weeks, so you had a toilet paper shortage, you might have caused that, but we also had some hoarding here in the United States. So what do? You give a bunch of Americans who aren't working free pornography for several weeks. Wham, bam, toilet paper shortage. The dumps are filled with it again.
Exactly. And then I get to devour all of that toilet paper. Or I could actually use it to clone you humans on an entirely different planet. But I won't go there. That's a whole nother story. I'm too ambitious, is I guess the whole point is I'm far too ambitious. I have all kinds of business endeavors. I even had my own magazine for a while there. I had 2 magazines. I was taking photos of lovely ladies perched on the porcelain throne, fully clothed. Party Hotties is the name of one of my magazines. I mean, who doesn't love a beautiful woman perched on the toilet in a disgusting dive bar, fully closed?
That honestly Good, good people would pay good money for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's time to start getting the wheels turning on Party Hardy's Part 2.
So what if you combined your mobile meth lab with the potty hotties? So you got like wheeling and dealing, and you got potty hotties, and then you're able to start setting up franchises. Throughout, start in the Southwest. Definitely start in the Southwest. I'd say even parts of Mississippi and Florida. But I don't need to tell you. You probably know that.
Yes, I already have the Glory Hole theme park. I don't know if you've ever been to the Glory Hole theme park.
No, I haven't. Is that here in Maine?
One of my first adventures on this planet was to go around and drill holes in walls in the viewing booths at porno shacks, and then I would buy them, and then I would fill them with all kinds of, I'll just say, creatures of the night that, they do what they do and they make me a lot of money. And now it's gone to the point where we're going to be going international with the Glory Hole theme park. There'll be one going in Wales, and then maybe in Britain. And then you never know. I mean, maybe we'll end up all the way up Uranus.
I was gonna say, I thought Wales already had a hole, but you were talking about the country. I got confused for a second.
Yes, there's definitely one in the town of Wales, Maine. Yes,
in Wales, Maine. Now I'm sure here in Maine, your mobile meth lab would go over swimmingly, and honestly, if President Orange gets to continue on, I'm sure he'll probably include free methamphetamine for all Americans, because that seems really what it's coming to.
Well, I hope that he doesn't, because that cuts into my bottom dollar. Before the coronavirus came, I had a pretty goddamn good thing going. You probably haven't heard about my meth gators hobo fights, where I would actually pit methed up hobos against methed up alligators down in Tennessee. Now, you might have saw on the news about the meth gators.
I definitely read something about it, absolutely.
Yeah, so that son of a bitch sheriff that dropped the ball on that motherfucker was just mad because I cut him out of his cut of the fucking meth money. It was a simple plan. I would have hobos break into homes for me because I was too lazy. They would steal meth. They would steal the ingredients from underneath your sink to make the meth, and then they would make the meth. And what
Drano
they
and
didn't know is that I had actually gotten the local crocodile population addicted to meth flesh. Not just meth, methamphetamine-laced flesh. Those hobos are so full of meth that the crocodiles are now hungry for meth and flesh. It's a brilliant plan. I pit them against each other. The rich, the illustrious, they watch, they bid on it. It's like Fight Club, only you have a barbecue afterwards because you generally eat what's left of the corpse of either, whether it's a crocodile or alligator, whatever it is down there. It's meth gators, my bad. It's not crocodiles. I get the two confused. They're both lizards, and, Steve Irwin liked to put his thumb up their fucking ass.
Now, honestly, this venture it truly sounds like there's nothing more American. And it's sad. It's sad to see COVID striking down so many good entrepreneurs, much like yourself.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, because you know what? We had a lot of fun getting high as fuck and watching people getting torn limb from limb. It was an amazing, and I made a lot of fucking money.
Nothing's more American. Nothing's more American. Give them your blood and circus, and the masses will gather, and I'm sure it was a sight to see.
Make America gory again.
From the glory hole theme parks, from the meth gators.
You know what? We'll make it gory. Actually, it was kind of gory at the Glory Hole theme park about a week ago.
Did you sand them down?
What's that?
Did you ever sand them down?
I actually have duct tape installed. There is one that I left splintery because I know a couple of guys that really You know, they're into that kind of stuff. I have a few. One of them actually is the guillotine glory hole, and that's what I employed last week. I actually lured a couple of porn stars there. And needless to say, I found the ingredients to make my numcocks for Nikki. So now she has an official humongous weapon to take into the battlefield, which is basically a giant pair of porn star cocks that are nunchucks that she can literally beat people with the meat of Shawn Michaels and Mandingo.
You
So
know,
don't be expecting any new movies from either of those legendary stars.
You know, when I thought I was going to be interviewing Kevin James today, and I was like, all right, this is a pretty once in a lifetime opportunity, but somehow our signals crossed, the lines got crossed. I ended up with you. Personally, I think that we're all the more better off. I got to say, this has truly been a journey.
Oh, yes. I'm glad the gods brought you. You know, I'm not the king of Queens. I am the fucking king of the shit hill. That's about all. You know, I do what I do. And, you know, before I fucking let you go, I just want to know, why can't we have the good old days of Halloween when you had to fucking worry about razor blades and nails in candy bars? You know, now you're just gonna get a COVID-19 candy bar. That's just not quite as fun.
No, it's not like when I was a kid in the 80s and you were running that risk, you know, but I mean, I lived in the city. I never got, you know, drugs or weapons or, you know, nobody was trying to put razor blades in there. I never had any of that. And even now, like nobody gives away edibles. Like, I don't know where other people think they're like, kids are going to get fucking fistfuls of like medicated gummies. That shit isn't fucking cheap. No stoner in their mind right now in America is giving away fucking edibles. No way.
I have pounds of marijuana. I'm not giving it to any of these little fucking shitheads unless they pay.
They gotta pray for it?
Pay.
Oh, pay. Yeah, no, I feel the same. 40 a gram or get the fuck out.
$15, you little shit. Put that money.
$15, little man.
You're gonna get hit.
Oh, you know, we can't have that. You're gonna be undercutting me. I'm 40 a gram. We can't have that.
No, I was 40 a fucking microgram.
Oh man, Humongous, you might find this interesting. Before we do part ways, got something here, and I'm curious if you this is a relic. This is actually an ancient family artifact of yours. Do you know what this is?
That looks like. Let me get a closer look at that. It's from. That's got to be half of my father's cock ring.
It is not half of your father's cock ring. This is actually part of your father's war cowl.
Oh, I should have known.
When they had the funeral pyre, I reached my minuscule human hand into the pyre and the effigy, and I pulled this out. So I would always have a piece of your father with me. You can see this is the bracket right here for where his brain was exposed.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I wanted to share this. Now, I hope that you don't try to come and take this from me, because I really think that we may be distant cousins or bastard half-brothers. I'm not entirely sure. But I obviously got the DeVito side of the Urungus looks.
I will let you retain that in your possession as long as you promise to masturbate with it at least once a month.
I promise to not masturbate to it at least once a week.
Perfect. I like that. You're not a bad guy. I'm glad that the lines got crossed and that the banana splits fucking split this shit and Punky Brewster got locked in that goddamn refrigerator. Because this was a much more interesting interview than I would have had with that three-way with those fucking weirdos.
Yeah, certainly would have made for an interesting Christmas card, to say the least.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to call him as soon as I get off the phone with you here.
Well, imagine, you know, unfinished business is unfinished business, and I totally understand. And I know, who am I to step in the way of another, I would say man, but another creature's pleasure?
Yes, I mean, I've got to a hot date with a bunch of animatronics and a former child star that is now gone far too far into the refrigerator. You know, and that's actually the way I like them. I like them cold and dead, like those Russian mail order brides that I've got on hold in the chest freezer. You know, you stack them like cordwood, and you never have to worry about going.
You know that
you don't go without. Let's just put it
yeah,
that
absolutely. Just taking the Patrick Bateman approach. Totally understand that. Totally understand that. Well,
you only live once.
You only YOLO once.
Yes, exactly.
Now,
I cannot wait. Halloween is coming, and hopefully by the time this actually airs, I will be back from going to see Gua. Because, don't tell anybody, but I rented Killdozer.
I'm very familiar with the Killdozer story.
Oh, yes. Have you ever tried Uber?
Yeah, but they always, same deal. They always drop me off in the wrong spot. I never get where I need to be.
Exactly. See, I got Uber Silver the last time I got Uber, and this bitch showed up, and she said she was a survivor of the Titanic. She said she was sucking dick on the Titanic, and some guy she was blowing fucking froze to death or something, and she stayed on top of a door and survived or whatever.
Door whore.
I said, fuck Uber Silver. I don't want survivors of the Titanic or the War of 1812 driving me around this goddamn world. So I rented the Killdozer. That's right. I'm taking Killdozer to Richmond, Virginia, and I'll probably run out of gas about the time I get to Hitler's old estate in South America. I'm figuring about the time I get there, I'll probably have to fucking hire an Uber. But maybe by then, the old lady would have died.
Humongous, you said you're going to see the Overlords in Guar?
Yeah, see, I wasn't going to go because I was all the way over on the other side of Antarctica. And then I said, fuck it. I saw the ad on Craigslist, Killdozer, available for rental, unlimited gas mileage. I said, yeah, that's it. I'm going. Richmond, Virginia, I'm fucking coming for you.
Now, I know we've only just met, and this might be a little brash, but I might be willing to part with some moon rocks that I have in exchange for footage of the Guar concert. Do you think we could do something like that?
I'm always down with some of the dingleberry hash.
Some dingle hash? I mean, it's mostly dingle. It's some finger hash, but it's mostly dingle.
Nice,
I still want.
That is the best. I like my moon rocks, just like I like my space crack.
Well, that's the thing. As a human, I'm not able to get space crack, but I was able to obtain a small quantity of moon rocks that I personally feel will light you appropriately.
Perfect. Now you can be a sponsor for the show, for the next humongous shit show, sponsored by motherfucking moon rocks from Punky Bruiser.
I'm down. Send me the contract. I'll send it over to my producer. I'll have him cross the T's and dot the lowercase i's.
Perfect. This will be the beginning of a beautifully retarded relationship. You might have to bleep that because some people don't like that word, but coming from someone that is mentally ill, I'm allowed to fucking say it.
You can own it. You make it your own. Just know that we're very excited for this new interspecies relationship. I had a great one with your father, and I feel that this was predestined to happen. All these years in the making. All them years ago, he had told me that he would let me live.
He opened the refrigerator door.
He opened the refrigerator door for me. It was that moment.
He opened that door and said, "You have a purpose in the future, you little shit."
And that right there, I held that on. And I always knew that I was predestined for greater things, and here we are now.
This is an honor. I appreciate the hell out of this. And I don't say that to very many of you stinking filthy humans.
Well, this is honestly, this is the first alien interaction that I've ever had. So first of all, I've never made first contact with anybody, but I think I did a fairly good job representing the human race.
Yes, you know, if the rest of the human race was half as decent as you, I might actually, not subject them all to a horrible diabetic death. But unfortunately, you will be spared, my dear boy. My father spared you, and I will spare your life as well, because honestly, this is definitely better than that fucking OnlyFans call I was expecting. So,
well, at least with me, this was free, So if you want, you can take a couple screenshots, get the old girl catcher in there, and do what you got to do, So my Humongous, what was your full name?
Humongous Fungus of Urungus.
That's right, of the Urungus bloodline. Well, thanks for crossing signals with me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Remember, human filth, every Sunday on my fucking fuck book, crack book, whatever you want to call it, Facebook page, the Humongous Shit Show goes live, and you filthy humans get a chance to interact with me, your idiotic host with the most STDs in the fucking, well, maybe not more than pustulas, because I mean, you've seen that fucking guy's face.
Yeah,
I've gone down on some nasty crack whores in my day, but his face looks like what I'm usually eating, and that's not a good thing. But I love him. He's one of the best fucking guitar players in the fucking, not only in the galaxy, but in the entire universe. Fuck the Milky Way. He's going all the way. So
this has been interesting. So not Kevin James, Humongous Fungus of Urungus. Thank you so much for sparing my life tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm sure people here on the mixtape do. And hang out. You might see a couple of humans that are worth sparing.
Oh yes, while you're at it, be sure to check out Guello.
Absolutely.
That is a band that I do some work with on the side, and we have a lot of fucking fun. Psycho Destructo, one of the awesomest fucking cybernetic psychos in the fucking universe, besides Sawborn Destructo. Gotta love him. They are fucking awesome. We have a lot of fucking fun out there, and our glorious leader, Psycho, will lead us far into battle, and hopefully one day you can be there so we can beat you with his mixtape, because he is a rapping robot.
He's a rapping robot?
He's not a fucking robot. He's a rapping robot.
That I gotta know a little bit more about. So
yes, I will line up an interview for you if you want with Psycho.
Bring it on. You've opened up a massive can of worms that I didn't realize I needed in my life of interviewing intergalactic creatures. So yes. It's truly been an honor. You can catch Humongous Fungus of Urungus on Facebook every Sunday at 4:20 Eastern Standard Time, mixtapers. Thank you so much, Humongous.
Have yourself a good evening. And, stay safe, stay stupid, and stay out of the fucking road unless you're sleeping.